Man, I didn't even see it coming. It's crazy how someone can go from telling you they love your energy to acting like you're some damn kid they just babysat. I met Camila at the gym in Raleigh, North Carolina. I was 24, working as an HVAC apprentice, grinding 6 days a week with the goal of opening my own small business someday. I wasn't flashy, but I was strong, grounded, and I worked with my hands. I had purpose. Camila was different from anyone I'd ever dated. She was 29, full-on real estate agent, drove a white Audi Q5, always dressed sharp, that blazer and heels. Type. I remember the first thing she said to me at the gym. I was wiping down the leg press, and she goes, "You look like you could throw a truck over a mountain." I laughed and said, "Only on Wednesdays." We hit off. She liked that I was serious, that I wasn't one of those TikTok clout boys. I was up at 6, worked until 5, hit the gym, then back home to cook something halfway healthy. No games, no bulldog. She told me I was a breath of fresh air. Our first few months were like a movie. She introduced me to her lifestyle, wine tastings, open houses for $1 million homes, rooftop restaurants downtown, Sunday brunch with her realtor friends. I didn't fit in at first, but I held my own. They talk about listings, commissions, HOA boards. I listened, asked smart questions, kept my dignity. Some of them called me the quiet one. Camila would just smile and rub my back. I was her golden retriever. I moved into her condo about 4 months in. She offered, said it'd help me save while I was trying to buy my first truck and get licensed to run solo HVAC work. I paid some rent, cooked most nights, cleaned up, handled all the repairs. I was raised right that my mom taught me how to take care of stuff. But around month 7, something shifted. It was small at first thought. She started saying things like, "I wish you'd dress more like a man your age should, or maybe try reading the Wall Street Journal instead of Reddit." I'd laugh it off. I thought she was just teasing, pushing me to level up, but got sharper. We'd be out with her friends, and she'd introduce me like this. "This is Ethan. He's my AV guy, always with a little smirk, always the ellipsis." I felt like a plus one, not a boyfriend. Then came the sex excuses. "I'm just so tired from showing houses. I'm bloated from wine night. I'm not in the mood." "You're so full of energy, Dot. It's exhausting." I tried to talk about it. I said, "Hey, are we good?" She'd say, "We're fine. You're just too young to understand what I'm going through." What did that even mean? I started noticing she'd stay out longer. Brunches turned into whole days. I'd call her, and she'd text back hours later. "Sorry, had too many mimosas, LOL." Then, the night that really wrecked me, she invited me to dinner with her mom. Diane Dopp. We went to this overpriced Mediterranean spot in Cary, the kind where water refills come with attitude. Camila looked amazing, no doubt. Hair curled, heels tall, dress tight but elegant. Her mom was there too. Woman didn't look a day over 40, blonde tan. Botox done right. Dot. She worked at some med spa and had that whole I age backwards vibe. Dinner was awkward from the jump. Diane was way too flirty. She touched my arm when she laughed. Sad stuff like, "Ethan, you've got the energy of a lion. My daughter needs that." Dot. And Camila? She rolled her eyes, sipping her wine like it was in Forge. Rip. Then just like that, in the middle of dessert, she dropped the bomb. No warning, no emotion. She looked at me and said, "Ethan, I think I need someone older. Someone who gets my pace, my goals." I'd outgrown this. I swear, the whole table went silent. I didn't even finish my tiramisu. I just sat there, trying not to look like I got punched in the throat. Her mom's face was unreadable. Half sympathy, half amused. Camila didn't cry. She didn't seem sad, just cold. Like she was canceling a gym membership, not ending a relationship. I paid the damn check. The ride back was brutal. She didn't even try to justify it. Said something like, "Don't be dramatic, Ethan. You knew we weren't forever. No, I didn't know that. I was making plans, real ones. I moved out 2 days later. Grabbed my toolbox, my gym bag, my books. Left the cast iron pans I bought. Even left the cologne she loved. Didn't want her to think I was begging. Stayed with my cousin Tyler for a bit in Garner. Took a few weeks off the gym. Just worked and slept. Told myself to let it go. That's some. People don't value steady. They chase shiny. But inside, I was humiliated. I didn't lose her to someone richer. I lost her to her own ego. And you know what stunned the most? Her mom, Diane, the way she looked at me that night. Not like her daughter's boyfriend, not like a kid, but like a challenge. A door cracked open, and part of me, the wounded part, the prideful part, wanted to walk right through it. About a week after I moved out, I was scrolling through Instagram. Late one night, just killing time like I usually do before bed. That's when I saw a DM pop up from none other than Diane Moore, Camila's mom. At first, I thought maybe she was reaching out to apologize on her daughter's behalf. Or just checking in to say something polite. I mean, we'd spend a lot of Sundays at her place eating grilled chicken, drinking wine, and watching reality shows. She always liked to talk about how young people today don't know how to hold a conversation. But she said I was refreshing. Honestly, I thought she was just being nice. Anyway, her first message said, "Hey, I know that dinner didn't go how it should." You didn't deserve that. I stared at it for a minute. I didn't answer right away. I left her on read for almost an hour because, honestly, I didn't know how to take it, but curiosity got the better of me. And I eventually replied, "Yeah, that was rough. Appreciate the message." She responded almost instantly. "You handled it with so much grace. Most guys your age would have flipped the table." That felt odd, not wrong. Just complimentary. Like she was trying to stroke my ego. And let me tell you, that ego was very bruised. We went back and forth a bit that night. She asked how I was doing. I told her I was staying at my cousin's place, working a lot, trying to keep my mind busy. She said if I ever needed a decent meal or some wine that doesn't come in a box, I could stop by at first. I figured she was just being kind, maybe lonely. Divorced for a few years, don't know boyfriend that I knew of. Camila had mentioned once that Diane scared men off because she was too much. She never explained what that meant. A few nights later, I was dead tired after finishing a call-out job for a busted-to-see unit in a college dorm. Middle of the night, sweating like a dog, and I had missed dinner again. I was running on gas station snacks. So I remember Diane's offer. I texted her, "Still offering that meal?" She replied right away, "Always come hungry." I made balsamic chicken and garlic mashed. I pulled up to her house around 8:30. It was weird being back there without Camila. Like I was crossing a line I wasn't even sure existed. The porch lights were on. The grass was cut perfectly like always. She answered the door in this silky navy robe that looked like it belonged in a magazine. Her hair was pulled back loosely, and her nails were perfectly done. She looked sharp. "Wow, that someone cleaned up?" I joked. She gave me a smile that lingered a little too long and said, "I always clean up for company." Dinner was good, like really good. I hadn't eaten that well in weeks. We talked about everything. Work, how her business was going. Random stuff. She even poured me a glass of expensive red wine and told me I deserve better than that basic Merlot Camila always forced you to drink. And then, somewhere between the second glass of wine and dessert, the whole vibe shifted. She leaned back on the couch across from me, one leg folded under her, wine glass dangling from her hand like she was in a perfume ad. She looked me dead in the eyes and said, "You know, I told Camila she was making a mistake. I told her, man, like, you don't come around often." I stayed quiet, just nodded dots at my wine. I felt heat creeping up my neck, not from attraction, but from confusion, that weird tension, like something was about to be said that I couldn't unhear. She went on, "You're strong, Ethan, focused. You make things with your hands. You're not soft like these wine-sipping finance brothers Camila keeps chasing. And the way you handled that dinner, most men would have made a scene. You didn't even flinch." I cleared my throat and said something like, "I just didn't want to give her the satisfaction." No point arguing when someone's already out the door. She stood up, walked to the kitchen, and came back with another bottle. She poured herself more and said, "Camila's always been shallow. She gets that from her father." Then she looked at me like she was reading my soul, but not me. I know how to appreciate what's right in front of me. Now, I ain't slow. I knew where this was going. But I didn't move. I didn't say anything, because part of me was still bleeding from what Camila did. Another part of me, the darker part, wanted validation. I wanted someone to look at me and think, "You're enough." She got up, walked over, and sat next to me. Her leg touched mine. "You're not a boy, Ethan," she whispered. "Don't let anyone call you that again." I should have left. Honestly, I should have stood up and walked out, but I didn't. Not that night. It wasn't love, it wasn't even lust. It was a power shift. A reversal, a middle finger to the woman who made me feel like a kid when I was doing everything I could to be a man. That night blurred out in moments. I remember her nails on my back, the smell of her perfume, and how she whispered, "Let me show you how grown women treat real men." The next morning, she made eggs and black coffee like it was just another Tuesday. No awkwardness. No guilt. She kissed me on the cheek like she was my girlfriend. "Come back anytime," she said. I like having someone around who actually knows how to fix things. I didn't know how to process it. I went back to work that day in a fog. Tyler asked why I looked like I hadn't slept. I just told him. Long night. Weird one for a while. I didn't tell anyone. But it didn't stop there. Diane kept messaging me, inviting me over. Sometimes late at night. Sometimes for dinner. She'd ask about my day, compliment my arms. Say things like, "Camila didn't know what she had." But I do. It messed with my head. I wasn't proud. But I wasn't exactly ashamed either. It wasn't revenge sex, not really. It was like reclaiming my dignity in the most twisted way possible. But deep down, I knew something was going to give. You can't play with fire and not get burnt. And that fire was about to explode at the worst possible moment. Because Diane, she had plans, big ones. And I was about to be at the center of it all. It was bound to explode. You can't sleep with your ex's mom and expect things to stay quiet forever. I kept telling myself I had it under control. But deep down, I knew I was playing with a ticking bomb. And Diane, she was the one lighting the fuse with a damn smile on her face. So it all came to a head about a month later. Diane invited me to her 4th of July barbecue. Said it would be low-key. Just family and close friends. Nothing dramatic. I should have known better. Every time Diane said something was chill, it turned into a scene from a reality show. She mentioned Camila would be there. I almost said no. Not because I was scared, but because I wasn't sure if I was ready to see her again. I hadn't spoken to Camila since the night she dumped me like a used napkin at that restaurant. Not a call. Not a text, nothing, and I didn't reach out either. Pride? Maybe. Or maybe I just wanted her to feel what silence really sounds like. Then Diane slipped in one more line. "Camila's bringing her new man. Just FYI." And that got my attention. I told her I'd think about it. 3 days later, I showed up. Not to be petty. Not to cause drama, but to prove something to myself. That I could walk through fire without flinching. I wore a simple black tee, jeans, boots. Clean-shaven, hair cut fresh. I pulled up in my work truck. Not flashy, but mine paid off. Clean, with my name on the side. Walter's Heating and Cooling. I stepped into the backyard, and everything slowed down. Kids were playing near the pool. People were grilling burgers, sipping White Claws, and Modella. Diane spotted me first. She lit up like a firework and walked straight toward me. She hugged me like I was her man, not like a family friend. Not like her daughter's ex. Like hers, Camila was by the patio holding a glass of sangria. She froze when she saw me, literally glass halfway to her mouth, her new boyfriend mid-sentence beside her. Dude looked like a walking Banana Republic ad. Loafers, some shorts, buttoned, down tucked in. Probably made 6 figures doing something boring like accounting. Whatever. I walked around like I belonged there. Said hi to people I recognized. Grabbed a plate of food. Made small talk with Diane's sister. Real sweet lady. But I could feel Camilla's eyes burning through my skin. About an hour in, Diane started getting a little bold. She touched my arm when she laughed. Fixed my collar like a girlfriend would. She even fed me a piece of watermelon. I didn't ask for that. I didn't flirt back, but I didn't stop her either. It was all happening in slow motion. Camila was watching. Her new guy, I think his name was Brandon or Blake or something equally beige, was clearly picking up on the weird tension. He asked Camila twice if she was okay. She kept saying she was fine, but her smile was faker than a Botox party. Then came the toast. Diane grabbed a glass, stood near the grill, and clinked her fork against it like she was about to make a wedding speech. She thanked everyone for coming, talked about family, tradition, how grateful she was. Then, without missing a beat, she said, and a very special thank you to Ethan for being such a light in my life lately, for helping me feel young again. Silence. Actual silence. Not even a wind moved. You ever seen someone try to laugh something off and fail miserably? That was Camila. She chuckled, but it cracked halfway through like her voice gave up. Brandon asked, "What's going on?" And she just stared at Diane like she'd been slapped with a brick. I stood still, didn't smile, didn't laugh. Just let the words sit there like a truth bomb dropped on a family picnic. I locked eyes with Camila. She looked completely blindsided. For a second, I almost felt bad. Almost thought after that, I left. I didn't wait around for the fireworks or dessert. I handed Diane my plate, said, "Thanks for everything," and walked out the same way I came in, calm, quiet with my head high. That was the last time I ever stepped foot in that backyard. 2 weeks went by, then the text started. From Camila. First one was short. "Can we talk?" I didn't answer. 2 days later, "I miss you." I didn't realize what I had until it was gone. Then came the guilt trip. "I don't know what's going on between you and my mom, but that wasn't fair." Oh, now she wanted to talk about fairness? The same woman who looked me in the eye and said I was too young. The same woman who made me feel like I was some temporary fling she was outgrowing. I didn't reply. Then came the calls, one after another, blocked the number. Then came the burner Instagram account. "Please, I'm sorry. Can we at least meet for coffee? Nah, you don't get to pick when I'm worthy. You don't get to throw me away. Replace me with some basic finance bro, and then come crawling back when things blow up in your face. You made your choice. You gambled and you lost out. As for Diane, I never spoke to her again either. Not because I couldn't, but because the revenge was never about keeping either of them around. It was about balance. About reclaiming the power I gave away. That summer changed me. I stopped being the guy who said yes to everything just to be accepted. I poured everything into my work, took night classes, got certified, expanded my client list, opened a small office, built a name for myself the right way. Now, I don't chase approval. I don't chase anyone who makes me feel like I'm less than, the best part. 6 months later, I ran into Brandon, Canula's older guy at a hardware store. He was buying a plunger and looked stressed as hell. I smiled and nodded. He did a double take and said, "Hey, weren't you?" I cut him off. "Yeah, I was." Then I walked away. So, yeah, my girlfriend said I was too young. Her mom said I made her feel alive. And me, I just kept moving forward. One lesson, one betrayal, and one unforgettable barbecue at a time.